Okay, so we left off saying we've looked briefly at the general outline of how we're going to approach doing Lewis structures, what happens when they specifically contain carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, some halogens, and hydrogen. Well, we made a few notes when we're talking about the periodic table and how it relates to covalent bonds. Recall then that carbon forms 4 bonds, and that will always apply. Nitrogen generally forms 3 bonds, and I say generally because, as you've seen when we talked about covalent the coordinate covalent bonds, you can end up with 4 bonds to nitrogen, forming the ammonium ion. So nitrogen generally forms 3 bonds, but can form a 4th under some circumstances. Oxygen almost always forms 2 bonds. There are a couple of exceptions to that rule, but they are even more rare than nitrogen forming 4 bonds. Halogens, and recall that those halogens, those are fluorine, chlorine, iodine, and bromine, generally form 1 bond, and that is always true for fluorine. Chlorine, iodine, and bromine, of course, have some exceptions where they can form more than 1. And we will look at some of those. And of course, we finally say hydrogen always forms one covalent bond. Okay, so these are the general trends seen with those. And we will look at that when we draw some examples of these molecular Lewis structures. Okay, speaking of which, we'll stop this here, and the next recording will be drawing Lewis structures, examples.